Hi.
Hey. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So up to your gimmer on the screen. Oh, I forgot to share. Um,
Yeah.
okay. And that is oh,
Hoof cuff bet.
um Hashta Asu Hashta Asu Raman Amroisha Talmud Fresh Elam Milay. So the Rabbanon, the Amora'im, the Talmud come will explain these things, whatever we discussed before, the derivations, etc. Heicha the Chazuk the Chaza, Rebbe the Alocha Kuyachim Megai Lemilsa. Where they saw that they agreed. Chazal, they saw Kid Chazal Rebbe. They saw like Rebbe saw. They agreed. Yochid Megayel the Milsa. They would reveal that. Echad Lo Chazal Kid Chazal Rebbe Megayel the Milsa. So then they disagreed. Okay, so it's Kehud Damevi, which is where is it? And uh 28 and Beitza, no, where is it? Yeah, Beitza Daf Lamed Alf. Okay. Maybe I'm not being Mashmo. Aim of being eight Mechunosim Karpaf. Being wood on Yontif, that which is gathered in your yard. Makshina Ba, not tell me that Karpaf, I feel me I'm a fuzar. Two to the Shmuel. Hi, it says in the Mishnah that you can bring a Karpaf even if it's the wood is scattered in the Karpaf, which is a refutation Shmuel. Farkina Masis the Yechidoi. Despite the fact that Rebbe was sus on the Mishnah, right? He was slicing it like that principle. Nevertheless, we paskin like the paskin like the that it was we the Gemara says that the Mishnah is a shitas yachid, and there's also evidence from a brisa. Uh, uh, the 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 Burim in the printed edition as notes that it could be, although I'm not sure he's saying this exactly, but I think it was, I think what I'm sure going to say, forget about what he's saying. I think what I'm sure going to say is that we have to have evidence for this. You can't just, Moray can't come and say without evidence in the Mishnah is Shitas Yochid, right? They have to go out clearly find evidence in this type of assertion. And in this case, they found Tosefta. So they found Tosefta that it was a Shitas Yochid, so therefore they could pass like Shmuel despite the fact that Rebbe was saying some Mishnah certain way. And that's interesting because you'd figure that Rebbe would be more authoritative than Shmuel, but evidently in the early generations of Amora'im, they still have the right to go back and say, you know what, it's Machlokas Tanoim. The majority of Tanoim held against Rebbe. We don't have to pass like Rebbe, and that's why we can sustain Shmuel's opinion. Okay,
Okay.
it's not like Rav Tanu Polik. Rav can argue in a Mishnah, right? And sometimes we even find that by other Amoraim on rare occasions. Even I believe even by Shmuel, there's one occasion where they point out that maybe you argue on a Mishnah, but here's not arguing on a Mishnah. It's stating that the Mishnah is Rebbe's conclusion on Machlekes. Since it's Machlekes, Shmuel can be going like the other time, and we can pass him like the other time. Okay, so it's not arguing on the Mishnah, but rather going beyond the Mishnah to find the original argument on which the Mishnah is based.
Okay.
Okay, we find the Mishnah as something which is distorted. But Sichel Mismei, Mina, Mide, these Mekushal Solik, was they have to remove from it something which has a question and cannot be resolved. Ami Sami Mikan Kaflikach. So in fact, they say, you know what? Remove this from the Mishnah. So there actually are emendations to the Mishnah made by the early Amora'im. Also best know. Okay, so in Chulun Amar B'chir Ba'am Rabbi Yochanan, Paras Chatas ain't a Mishnah. The this if you take a look at the bottom on the tech on the screen, it says Hashoy Nimsa Treifa. If you checked it and you find it was Treifa, Hashoy Lava Zora, Hashoy Shech Lava Zora, Hashoy Paras Chatos, the Shech Para Duma, V'Shor Niskal, V'Egla Rufa. Kol Elu Shlish and Ruyahim V'Shim Paitim Moser Yisrael Espino. Question is, the odd man one out here is Paras Chatos, it's a Paraduma. What do you mean? It's not a Shchita Shenuria. Yeshachta Avodah Zarah, it's not appropriate Shchita. Yeshachta Shoniska, it's not appropriate Shchita. Yeshachta Egla Rufa, it's not appropriate Shchita. But also, Shchita Paras Chatos is not Shchita Shenuria. They are supposed to Shech the Paraduma. Right? So, Shimon's patches used to ask Melchom Mechayim, Gemara Paras Chatos ain't a Mishnah, Vegla Rufa ain't a Mishnah. Gemara Chinon Kavar Rebbe's Paras Chatos Vegla Rufa Mishnah. So, Yachz Borim. Yep. These are not supposed to include even the Egarufa, the Patu Rabbi Shimon. The Ahani Praskatas Egarufa have a Shchita Ruya. Because the Egarufa, even though you're supposed to wring its neck, but it only comes Osabana after you wring its neck. It's not like Shornisko. Shornisko comes Osabana once the halacha is paskined on it that it's Chayev Skila. But a or a garufa only comes osabano once you wrung its neck. So therefore, at the time of shchita, it'd be shechted without wringing its neck. So then it'd be shchita ruya. So the shchita, and therefore, of course, even Rebbe Shimon would be a chiyuv of also beno if you shechted the mother and the son on the same day. So so therefore they removed it, right? So I'm Rabbi Yochanan, Paras Chatas any Mishnah group any Mishnah. Ami Kachmas Nisan. So if we have a difficulty in the Mishnah, below Saki Brisa, uh, we can't resolve the question based on a Brisa, unlike the previous case where we found, a basis for Shmuel in the Brisa. And we can reject that, and you can even reject the entire Mishnah. If you have a comb for
Flax.
flax, right? So from which the teeth have been removed. I mean, I don't know what it says whether it says this is tummy or not. There's two tines left. It's tummy. It can still be used for tzluacha. If it only has one tine left, it's tohar. And then it says each one of these tines. Even if you didn't designate for a specific purpose, if you lay skin on the nail, you didn't designate to be used to to um, to manipulate the wick of a candle, or mitoch a beged, or to stretch out a garment. There is a melacha k'moshe and the silver melacha, and he says here. But it said Zuin Mishnah. It's not a Mishnah. The law of Dina Kabbalah, we don't follow it. Mimayim is talking about Davkone, because the people who had precise versions of this Mishnah had an end to it, the Zudi Rabbi Shimon. So Rabbi Yochanan and Shlosh both said that only if you designate for the use of the wick of the candle, only to a beggar, stretch the garment, the tomatoes, and not their Torah. So since the Daikonim said it's Rabbi Shimon, and he says, but all right, different Daikonim below ain't no kisvara. Don't say like a logic. Sharovam lo garis. It's most people don't have a Gersa Mishnah. If you have Bichem, mean the analog Mishnah needs to svara the Chila Masnisin, which is a pretty amazing thing. So it comes out that I'm not sure I would interpret that as a svara, but that's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
That um the um yeah the So, but the printed version does not add anything. Um,
Okay.
uh, okay. So, we took a masisa chesurim mechsrela. And if we need to learn a Mishnah uh, uh, to remove something, I don't think it's referring to Chisuy Mechsura here.
Mhm.
Uh, mm, does that come later on? Uh, no, he says that that's the Rabbi Rabinowitz says that that is what it means. It refers to Chisuy Mechsura, in fact.
Okay.
Uh, this is not what he says on the bottom. The bottom he says. He gives two interpretations here. So the first interpretation, you tell Chassid and Mishnah Davish and about Rebbe. You have to move from the Mishnah something which Rebbe learned in it. Ain't really shown and it's not appropriate to include it. K'til El as previously Mechasrei law. We remove it. We say remove from Chitz V'Zeh Lishna Achrina. Another interpretation of what the Shir is saying. It was Tzirah Masir Chesura. V'yin tzorech l'mei marba Chesura Mechsa V'achiktani. You have to say Mechsa. V'lashem Rishon Pshat V'ikar. So he is coming,
Mhm.
obviously, to reject what Rabbi Rabinowitz writes. Rabbi Rabinowitz writes like the second shot. He says like the first shot. Okay. Chesur Mechsra is a tool which I don't know if we mentioned on this program before, but it's a tool which is exclusive to the Bavli, not the Yerushalmi. They don't do it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure because they don't hold of it. They just don't do it. Uh, they don't. I don't think they feel it necessary to do. They just assume it. Visa Sisi Shabeshta, Ubraisa Divamina, and this is an interesting point. If the Masnisa seems to be distorted, Ubraisa Divamina, and the Braisa seems superior, the very little meal say, they clarify it. So clearly, this perspective is that although Rebbe did a wonderful job, he didn't finish it. There are rough edges.
Mhm.
Now, Besharmim Loim Yisrael, Loim Yisrael, Im Akoin al Bechor, a regular Yisrael cannot eat a bechor with a kohen, ubeisel matirin, but they'll permit it feel goy. And he says even a goy. Barmiya Gemara beisil masnisin that beisil in our Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. He. But look at beisil the Brisa. Look at beisil in the Brisa. I'm feel Zarim says even non kohanim, but I will goyim low, but not. But Goyim cannot participate in the eating of a Bechor. Okay?
Mhm.
Vipli Tanoi, if Tanoi argue. I'm even Michael Mifligate. Amora'im say what they argue about. For how many times the Kol Chad V'Chabinon. And they say the rationale of each and every one of them. V'chab say a Bryce is the Shchichet. And they look at the Bryces which are prevalent. Uh, I don't know, prevalent is the printed version has the Shakachon, which they can probably, which means it's not that prevalent, but they can find. When they look at everybody's and they can find Levruah Mills to clarify the matter, or Mishnah Minhar Labai, or to resolve the issue. And they'll look for whatever they can find. Okay, so this is an Amalei Rabbi Rabbi Zika. Puk Ayemba Mechiltach. Go check your Mesechta. In other words, your uh, the uh, the well, whatever he says it here also. Yeah, it says say in the print of the screen. Say raya mi mechiltach, which literally means your mesechta may be brayso sheish noch imach from the brises which you have in your repertoire. Veinam says based on menish, even though they're not um,
On the bookshelf.
commonly what
On the bookshelves.
right. Go check your database. Alma Majin Lusha Bain, I feel me bright, Lomi stay Bay Rabbi. And so it comes out that we use even brices which are not from the standard house of Rabbi Yosha. Dimi Ayim Mechiltot Kamar Law, Haina Bryce of Rabbi Yosha. It was the standard Tosefta lo avar amalei b'mechiltach. Masha braysa mesis biyodecha of ena mesis based on medrash. So we'll look in places where uh, uh, they won't hesitate to look in so to speak unconventional locations, as long as they can find something. Menak daikabo, and they infer from it. And they learn each thing according to its halacha. Um, and assume I think he's going general here. Yeah, not really in that case. Again, they in general the Amora'im aren't further reasons of the Tanoim, and they clarify each and every Tana what he said. Ulil Chasei and the Chalacha which emerges from his words. V'chad achad in each case, Man Amorah who said it, I'll leave the Man Ninu and who is Nihu and who's going like. V'vami Plukad Amoroi. Besides the Gemara being chock full of machloks in between the Amora'im themselves. For Kushan and the question, their resolutions, Tivtan and their refutations, Pirukain and their Pirukain is also a resolution. Not sure that it's in Shnei and Pirukain is. He says both of them Shneim Terutzayim Pirukain but Terutzayim. So one is the resolution of a question, the other is the resolution of a refutation. Okay, so
Okay.
the chisayon, where they reject something, which is stronger than a refutation, and how they make something work in a specific okimta, meaning in a specific scenario, as opposed to being a universal principle. Vav agadfo sehen, which is a very strong language, which some rabbis used to use in order to make a particularly strong statement. This is he points out here in the printed text. בדרך כלל מוצאים את הביטוי הזה, on page קכ"ס, בדרך כלל מוצאים את הביטוי הזה בקשר רבי אבו. You find normally רבי אבו uses the expression פירושו, כמו אדם שמנקה, which I would think to be מגרף, right? Not מגדף, right? מגרף, לגרוף את הקערה, means to scrape it clean. But he's saying that I would understand Mikadef as a strong language like blasphemy. But he's not saying that. He says, he sweeps out the plate from its leftover food. And a person is astonished at something and he goes with his hand like a hand signal. So Megadef. That's called Megadef. In the text screen, it brings out a bunch of places from Yavo, Shabbos Samach Beis, Sanhedrin Gimel, Mem, but Vazar is Rabbi Yirmiyah, but Zar Mem Gil it's Rabbi Chanina, Zvachim it's Rabbi Yavo. So in fact, he brings out here the Chuvas HaGoenim. It says the Sheker Safta Migaref, Rabbi Yavo, Migaref, right? The Oz Reish Lo Migadef, Boz Dalit. Ain't okay. No. Ella Megadif Ba Bedalit. Bedal means Dalit. Perish Ikar Lashon Gedifa, Gadaf Belashon Ishmaeli, Kemelach HaGodef Etz HaMa'im. Salt, which pushes away the water. Or no, it ruins the water. But it does say Misha Godef B'pitom HaShesh B'kara. So it seems like the same thing. So he is saying the same thing in the end. Saying it's not language of Migaref, but evidently from the Arabic, there's a similar language to Migaref, which is Migadef. Okay, what do I know? But anyway, they both say it means to clear the plate, not to, and that even don't change it to Migaref. That's what it means. In the footnote in Kuf Yudalit on page Kuf Chavtes, it says, perhaps we'll see Magdif. That sounds Arabic already. Magdif. Okay. Anyway, going back on. Itmi is saying, and their astonishments. The this is the it says here Tamrin v'chi, and that's one of the ways. I mean, the printed version says it's when they say Salka Daitach, below, Vini. Anyway, there are all sorts of expressions of astonishment. Um, Ula- Ulafushe Michtav Urche Talmud Nafish Tova. And to write all the pathways of the Gemara would take us a long, long time. Now, this is where it's interesting because here, the he made in the printed version, he actually makes a new chapter
Right.
here in the this is rare because normally the guy on the screen makes more chapters than the printed version. But okay, I guess we'll go by his version and we'll stop here for today. Okay. It says at the beginning of I don't know. So then again, we know it was not they do, you do whatever you want. Should go. It wasn't divided up, so people divide up differently. Okay.
All right.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Okay. Have a
Yep.
good week.
You too. Bye.